Having a young family, everything was kind of centred around them.
Yeah.
And after my daughter was born, her health, she wasn't in great health. And I think once she'd kind of pulled through and we were home and kind of starting family life, it actually dawned on me that my own health is very, very important. And I actually need to start looking after myself a lot more, because just being in the hospital with my daughter, obviously I was away from my son. So long term, being so overweight and so unhealthy, I might not be here for either of them. And actually, I really need to start doing something about it. Diets in the past hadn't worked. And for me, this was the only long-term answer. I went for the gastric sleeve. I think the thought of a bypass, it was quite scary. It just seemed very intense. And although I was overweight, I didn't feel that I was so overweight that I'd need to be completely rewired. And for me, that just seemed quite drastic. So I'd sort of ruled that out. And being quite young as well, later on, I'd come to realise the consultant wouldn't really suggest a bypass for me anyway. I had my operation at the Spire in Southampton. Mr. Jamie Kelly did it for me. I went to the initial consultation with my mum, who was, I think, a little bit, I don't know about this, but any worries she had going into that room, she didn't come out with the worries. I think her mind was very much put at rest that this is it's a proper place, and they're actual real surgeons and consultants who are very good at what they do. So yeah, she didn't have any worries, which obviously I didn't initially anyway, but that put my mind at rest as well. Got mum's approval. He asked me where I saw myself at the end, and I never kind of had a weight in mind. I wanted to be a size 16. I wanted to be a size 14, and he said he thought I might be aiming a little too high, and that it would probably be more realistic to be a comfortable 16, maybe a 14 to 16 as opposed to a 12 to 14. I mean, I'm now anything between an 8 to 12, which I never in a million years would have expected to get to. Pleasantly surprised. But I think the fact that he'd kind of managed my expectations in that way, Mum liked that he wasn't trying to oversell it. He was honest and kind of kept my feet on the ground. Now I've got a whole new wardrobe of clothes, which I think I may have bought a bit too prematurely, because I hadn't finished losing weight, much to my husband's delight, that I now need some more clothes. But going to the front of the rail rather than the back, and finding that actually they don't do my size at the back of, like, I'm too big for the high street shops, to now be at the front of the rail and having like the most common size, it's like, it's something that I can't put into words. Not something that hasn't happened like since I was 16, 17, that I think you just get so stuck in a rut and stuck in, this is it, this is me now, when actually it doesn't have to be. I mean, even just like going to the park, I'd sit on the bench, and pure laziness. I was so lazy and so lethargic, I couldn't be bothered to do anything. Whereas now, after dinner, we'll walk up the park as a family, and I fit in a swing. Like, that never happened. I would push my son on a swing, but now I fit in one, and we have like races to see who can get the highest and who can go the fastest. And I'm in my family now, whereas I was just on the sidelines before. I'll buy myself a bar of chocolate, just a small one, not even a sharing one like I used to, a little one. Have maybe 1 or 2 squares and put the rest in the fridge, that's unheard of before. And I have to make a point of saying to my husband, that's mine, I'm coming back for it, hands off.